Hey everyone, so welcome to our next session on technology for management. Today let us discuss about the expert system, its characteristics, its advantages, its components and so on. So what is an expert system? So an expert system is a program that uses artificial intelligence technologies to stimulate the knowledge and judgment of humans. So expert system usually include the subject specific knowledge base and can have additional modules added to expand their capabilities as well. These systems are the computer application developed to solve complex problems in a particular domain at the level of extraordinary human intelligence and expertise. So the concept of expert system was first developed in 1970s by Edward Feigenbaum, professor and founder of Knowledge System Laboratory at Stanford University. He explained that the world was moving from data processing to knowledge processing, a transition which was being enabled by new processor technology and computer architectures. So these expert systems have played a large role in many industries, including in finance services, telecommunications, then healthcare, customer service or transportation, or it can be video gaming sessions or manufacturing, aviation, and even in written communication. So to give an example, a most recently developed expert system is ROSS. So in an artificial intelligence attorney based on IBM's Watson cognitive computing system. So this are released on self-learning system that use data mining, pattern recognition, then deep learning and natural learning processes to mimic the way the human brain works. Some of the major characteristics of expert systems are that they are high performing systems, that they are understandable, they are reliable, and they are highly responsive systems. So moving upon to the next aspect, so expert systems are capable of advising, then instructing the assistant human in decision making, then demonstrating, deriving a solution, diagnosing the problem or troubleshooting the problem. In order to suggest few more, I would like to add upon explaining, then interpreting the inputs, then predicting results, justifying the conclusion, then suggesting alternative options to a problem. So here, see for example, when you take, you do blood test and all. So the reports, whatever you get, the doctor will not, for everyone, each and everyone, he will not be suggesting the preferred medications or the next steps and all. So by default you will be getting the report like what is the diagnosing. So it will also explain, it will also tell you the maximum limit and the minimal limit that has to be the reading should be the correct reading should be there. Then it also gives the predictive results. Then it says, it justifies the conclusion because of such and such increase of such and such an aspect or an element you are having this trouble. Then it also suggests the alternative options. Means many times, many diagnostics things, they also suggest, if not this medication, if you are allergic to this medication, then you can go for another one. So the software is so very beautifully designed. Of course it is again designed by the expertise, and that is the reason it is called as the expert systems. So these expert systems are incapable of substituting human decision makers. So there might be many awesome decision makers, and always, since it is the system by default, you have set the rules and regulation, and doesn't have brain. So whatever you perceived and you have inputted in the system, that is the same thing it will output whenever necessary. So hence it cannot substitute human brains. Possessing human capabilities is not possible. Producing accurate output for inadequate knowledge base is not possible. Then refining their own knowledge is never possible, because we'll have to be update the latest updation into the system very periodically and frequently. Moving upon to the next important aspects, it is components of expert system. This is again one of the very important aspects from in expert system, and even from the exam point of view. So here you can see that I have, mainly speaking, there are three major components, which is user interface, inference engine, knowledge base, and the human expert, the knowledge engineer, and the final user, who is not the actual expert, but he is the one who will need the reports or the output from this expert system. So here the human expert, like as I gave you an example of a doctor, so he first says what are the diagnosis in case if your hemoglobin level is high, so what are the low, or RBC is high or low, so what is the high level and low level, what is your BP reading, in the how much is normal, how much is high, how much is low, and something, or since he is expert in diagnosing human health aspects, so he will give all the supporting details. Okay, then knowledge engineer, okay, he will actually design the software, he will input the complete material, whatever he is being given, whatever data he is being given, he will input into the system, and then it leads to knowledge base, inference engine, and finally the user will be getting it. He can get the necessary information. So now let me take you in detail of what is knowledge base. So before that, let me tell you what is knowledge. What is knowledge? So you keep speaking that you don't have knowledge, or you have more knowledge, or you have less knowledge. Okay, first let me tell you from this aspect, from artificial intelligence aspect, knowledge is the data. Okay, so the data, whatever has been collected of so it is again converted to information, which is organized in systematic formats. So the data, the information, and the past experiences combined all together are termed as knowledge as per artificial intelligence. So what are the components of this knowledge base? So there are mostly two components of knowledge base. So we term it as factual knowledge and heuristic knowledge. So we term that this knowledge base is a store of both factual and heuristic knowledge. So what is this factual knowledge? So factual knowledge is the information widely accepted by the knowledge engineers and scholars in the task domain, whereas heuristic knowledge is about practice, accurate judgment, one's ability of evaluation and guessing. So in the system, we mostly use the if then else rules. So the success of any expert system majorly depends on the quality, then completeness and accuracy of the information stored in knowledge base. The knowledge base is formed by readings from various experts, scholars, and the knowledge engineers. The knowledge engineer is a person with a quality of empathy, then quick learning, and case analyzing, and who is having case analyzing skills. So he acquires information from subject experts by recording or by interviewing many people and observing him at work or etc. So he then categorizes and organizes the information in a meaningful way in the form of if then else rule to be used by interface machine. So then the knowledge engineer also monitors and develops the expert system. So moving upon to the next system, which is inference engine. So use of efficient procedures and rules by inference engine is very much essential in deducting correct, flawless solutions. So in case of knowledge-based expert system, the inference engine acquires and manipulates the knowledge from knowledge base to arrive at a particular solution. So to recommend one solution, this interface engine uses some strategies like forward chaining and backward chaining. So what is this forward chaining? So it is a strategy of an expert system to answer the question, what can happen next? So here the interface engine follows a chain of conditions and derivatives and finally deduce the outcome. So it considers all the facts and rules and sorts them before concluding to a solution. This strategy is followed for working on conclusions, then results or effects. For example, we can take the predictions of share market status as an effect of change in interest rates, especially in this era, which is in this time of COVID-19. Then moving upon to the next one, that is the backward chaining. That is again, as I mentioned, it is again one of the strategy for inference system. So with this strategy, an expert system finds out the answer to the question why this happened. So forward chaining speaks about what can happen next, whereas backward chaining speaks about why did this happen. So on the basis of whatever has already happened, the inference engine tries to find out which conditions could happen in the past for such results. So this strategy is followed for finding out cause or reason and so on. So for example, I can give you again a diagnosis of blood cancer in humans. Moving upon to the next one and probably the last one, which is user interface. So user interface provides interaction between user of the expert system and the expert system itself. It is generally natural language processing so as to be used by the user who is well versed in the task domain and not artificial intelligence expert. So the user of the expert system need not be necessarily be an expert of artificial intelligence. So it explains how the expert system has arrived at the particular recommendations, and the explanation may appear in natural language that is displayed on the screen or the monitor or projector, whatever the output screen you have. Then it can be verbal or narration in natural language like Google Home or something. Then listening of rule numbers displayed on the screen. So the user interface makes it easy to trace the credibility of the discussions, whatever has been inputted by the knowledge expert through knowledge base, then inference, then the output where the actual user will be using it. So when do you say this user interface is very effective or efficient? So this user interface should help the user to accomplish their goals in shortest possible way. Then it should be designed to work for users existing or desired work practices. Then its technology should be adaptable to users requirements, not the other way around. So it should make efficient use of users input also. So these are some of the limitations of expert systems. However, no technology can offer easy and complete solutions for all the problems that you come across. So large systems are very costly, so require significant development time and the necessary infrastructure and the computer resources and so on. So in order to explain few of the limitations, so here I've mentioned some. So limitations of technology, yeah, we might not get the upgraded or later version of technology. Then difficult knowledge acquisition, everyone might not be experts in expert system. Okay, again, since you are upcoming with new latest technology, so we can't expect everyone to be upgraded to the next future edition. So expert system are difficult, yes, very difficult to maintain, and in case it crashes and there is possibility of losing up many data, and since you have invested a lot of money in it, you'll have to take care of it. So high development costs, yes, it incurs high development, it is very costly. Yes, moving upon to the next important aspect, where all this expert system is applicable, where all you can use this expert system. So here I have given you a table where some of the examples where all the expert system can be applied. So it can be in design domain, wherein camera lenses designing and automobile designing. Then in fact even architectures also use, and there are so many apps in to design your own house. So even for architectural design and so many things. Then as I had already mentioned about medical domain, so diagnosis system to reduce the cause of disease from observed data, conduction medical operations on humans and so on. So monitoring systems, then comparing data continuously with observed system or with prescribed behavior such as leakage monitoring and long petroleum pipes and so on. Next, in process control system, so controlling a physical process based on monitoring. Then knowledge domain, finding out faults in vehicles and computers. So you see, if you have a laptop, you can also observe that you always have a troubleshooter in your laptop inbuilt, which is nothing but the expert system, one of the small example of expert system. So next, in finance and commerce, then detection of possible fraud, suspicious transactions, then stock market trading, airline scheduling, then in cargo scheduling and so on. So moving upon to the next aspect, let us speak on benefits of these expert system. So starting with availability, so they are easily available due to mass production of softwares, then less production costs. So again, it depends upon what is the system that you require. So some because in limitations I also explained, it incurs some cost. Yes, of course it incurs some cost. So again, it depends upon the software that you are selecting. You can customize based on your affordability or your budget, fixed budget and so on. Then the speed, yes, they have a great speed. They reduce the amount of work of individuals put in, like for blood tests and all. So then less error rate, yes, error rate is low as compared to human errors. Then reducing risk, they can work in environment dangerous to humans. Then study response, They work steadily without getting emotional, tensed, or fatigue. So they never get bored. This is the very first feature of a computer which we have always been studying, probably even from the first standard. So it never gets bored, it never gets tensed and all. It doesn't have emotional or mood fluctuations. So next topic is development of expert system. I really advise or suggest you to take a small break and come back before continuing with your next session. So next we will be studying on development of expert system. So take a small break and stay tuned, guys.